Yes, friends, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan, with the new beautiful lens. A whole new world, wide angle and quality. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the first video of the day, of course. There's loads of videos here on Football Therapy. Quickly, I have known for a little while, but I've realised how frustrating it can be. There is a problem with the audio. Yes, I'm acknowledging the issue. Not only that, I've taken steps to resolve it. If you are listening to this content, listening to this content, with earphones, headphones, or indeed on your mobile device, which I realise is probably a lot of you, I've seen the metrics, the stats, the data on the back end. Loads of people watch my content on mobile. There's a light hiss in the background. Listen now. Anyway, I apologise for that. I didn't know for a long time because I've got studio monitors in my setup and I watch it on like a laptop and stuff if I ever watch my content back, which you never hear it. So it's a mobile device and headphones. And yes, that's a lot of people. I have purchased a new audio card, sound card, interface because I've got the SM7B. I've got expensive camera stuff, obviously. I've got a cloud lifter to raise the gain of the audio. Boring stuff, I know. I do have a Focusrite interface, but I've had it for years, since I was at Music Academy, and that's a long time ago now. So I'm going to replace it, and I'm hopeful that, partnered with all the other new equipment, there shouldn't be an issue for you guys. And if there is, I'll walk into the sea. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that. Welcome. Today we're discussing two main talking factors, and not a particular transfer. Of course, it's worth acknowledging Mateo Kovacic has been announced by Man City. Best of luck to him, congratulations to them, and thank you for the 30 million, probably makes sense all round. And Kai Havertz is about to be announced as an Arsenal player. At time of recording, it hasn't happened, 9 AM, but the video is leaked on social media of the announcement video. It's pretty crap, actually. No way near as good as Chelsea's Kai Havertz video. But then again, we paid a lot of money for him, whatever. So those down, the 5 big sales down, more to follow. Ruben Loftus-Cheek's probably next. Well, he is next. And then probably Pulisic after the Saudi players. And the Mason Mount stuff hangs in the balance, but I can't be asked to talk about that today. I just don't have the energy. I feel like I'm about to keel over from Mason Mount headlines. Kill me. One way or another, just let it end. Two things we are discussing today. Football.London talking about how Chelsea have found a solution to the transfer problem. It's basically giving insight to the multi-club model, which actually is more interesting than perhaps it sounds on the surface. We are all Chelsea fans, and perhaps you're not a Chelsea fan watching this, and you're interested in knowing, and hopefully we'll do it concisely and relatively quickly, how this helps Chelsea Football Club. Also, Nicholas Jackson. Basically, an article on The Independent here, why Nicholas Jackson has the tools to make Chelsea a, quote, free-scoring Pochettino team. Oh! We'll start with that. A quick reminder to like and subscribe. I'm trying my hardest to bring the most high-quality content with you guys in terms of video and audio, and hopefully delivery. So please consider liking, subscribing, and I always urge you to comment as we go. Right, Independent, written by Ben McAleer, that guy. Chelsea's biggest issue last season was the inability to simply put the ball in the back of the net. That's right, the football in the onion bag, as they say. Only 4 teams scored only 4 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4 scored fewer Premier League goals than the Blues. 3 teams get relegated. Oh my Gideons! Why does last season keep coming back to haunt me? Let it end. I'm just hurting too much. So we scored 38 goals. That is sickening. 38 goals. Even with relegated okay, so even relegated teams, Leeds and Leicester, scored more than us. Deflating. Strengthening the front line was always a priority for the West London side, in need of a refresh this summer, I'd say. Yet they need to strike a balance. And it's not just the forwards, is it? It's a holistic, systemic failure that causes the goals not to happen. I also did a small performative piece of what Chelsea's strikers look like in front of goal, and there's just a collective panic, and no one wants the ball, and everyone wants to get rid of the ball. Chelsea's squad remains incredibly bloated, but departures of Kante, Koulibaly have helped. Of course, Ziyech and Mendy have helped. Of course, Havertz and Kovacic has helped. And there's been terminations of contracts. There's been other people leaving. The squad is getting smaller, which is good. We are not yet in July, but the Blues have at least made their first move to correct their goals issues. And Kuku has arrived from RB Leipzig on the back of a solid Bundesliga campaign. Of course, no one scored more goals than him, despite him being out for a couple of months. The 25-year-old won't be the only forward to rock up at the capital. However, Jackson is to follow suit. Jackson was prepped for a move to Bournemouth in January, only to fail his medical, and was subsequently linked to a move to Aston Villa this summer. Yet Chelsea have won the race for the 22-year-old. You think... look, context is key here. But if you're in the race of a player with Aston Villa and Bournemouth, you'd think... some point Chelsea still needs to hold some weight. When are we Chelsea Football Club again? Don't look at the table. Don't look at this absolute burning hot trash mess of a club at the moment. Look at the badge. Chelsea. He scored 12 goals and provided 4 assists in La Liga last season. A fine return for a player who registered only 1,600 minutes of game time. That is quite good, actually. So 12 plus 4 teams, 14 involvements and 1,600 minutes. Not bad for a player that wasn't always down the middle. I understand he was moved down the middle, and that's when he started. Maybe I'm wrong here. I read that in a YouTube comment, and he popped off. Of those 12 goals, 10 were scored since the turn of the year. Only former Real Madrid hitman Karim Benzema scored more than him in the La Liga. So in the second half or the second year of the season, if that makes sense. It was him and Benzema top of the table. Crucially, Jackson knows exactly where the goal is. Feed the Senegalese star, and he'll score. Of the 120 players to muster 25 or more shots, Jackson returns the best conversion rate, 29.3%, in that La Liga campaign, the last campaign. So, of all those people of 120 players, he's got the best conversion rate of 120 players that had mustered 25 shots from over. Wow. Despite a goal-shy season, Chelsea have still averaged 8th most key passes. I mean, even that's crap, isn't it? They may have finished 12th, but their key passes are 8th, rather, in the league. That's not good, man. 8th is still pony. 9.9 key passes per game. In the Premier League, a return can be improved on, yes, but a reasonable pace nonetheless. Yes, and also, we were just a dysfunctional group of losers, So, I kind of the things to build on from last season. Kepa's form, potentially, if we don't get a new goalkeeper. Watch this space, though, of course, we'll cover that on the channel. Enzo Fernandez, Noni Madueke. Oh, sorry, the line's gone dead. Yes. Wow. In addition, the Blues ranked 10th for big chance created. I don't know if these chances that's good. Yet in turn missed the 6th most. Yeah, Kai Havertz was the biggest defender, missing 14 clear-cut opportunities, but the German is set to leave Arsenal. So don't worry about that. He was, it's easy to say, he missed 14 big chances and now Arsenal have gone below. Let's not be petty. As much as we'd like to be. He's a good player, and he's been played out of position largely. Jackson, by contrast, performed superbly when the chances were laid out on a plate, retaining a clear-cut conversion rate of 56.3%. The best in Spain's top flight last season. That's immense. I mean, why have we not talked about that before? He's got the best conversion rate in La Liga. Surely that's a headline we should be... See if I can cram that into the title. However, there's more to Jackson's game than just scoring goals. Ooh la la, he's not an old-fashioned number 9, but rather a modern-day forward. He looks to link play, we've spoken about this, get on the end of chances, hence the goal scoring. An average of 1.2 key passes per 90 minutes, which is a good average for a striker. Pass rate's pretty good it's about nearly 77%, which sounds bad, but it's actually really good for a striker. They've got the least... out of everyone on the team, they'll have the lowest pass rate. And he Yeah, and he gets a lot of passes. With Pochettino expected to play a 4-2-3-1, he'll need his leading front man to work his way into the box when needed, hold up possession before, laying off the ball for teammates. Jackson ticks all the boxes. He does all this. He loves transition as well. He loves dribbling and playing in the half spaces, and he could combine and do good stuff with Christopher Nkunku. Looks good to me. Let me know what you think about that. Chelsea could be a free-scoring team with Nkunku and Jackson, who is apparently an elite converter. Converter of chances. Right, what's going on with Chelsea's multi-club model? Well, there's an article in Football.London. Chelsea have taken the first steps on the journey that will help. That will be a plan. That was the plan from the very beginning, which obviously we spoke about early doors since Bowley and Clearlake came in. Last week, it was announced that Blueco, which is the holding which is the consortium that bought Chelsea. Why don't we just call them Blueco? We always call them Clearlake and Bowley. Maybe we should just start saying Blueco. Todd Bowley and Bedadik Barley of Clearlake Capital, or just Blueco. Blueco. So they bought Strasbourg, the Ligue 1 side, or the controlling stake. A deal that could be followed by further acquisitions, of course, in Portugal, as Bowley has spoken about in their multi-club strategy. So Portugal could be next. The majority of Premier League owners have controlling stakes in other sporting assets, many of them in North America. So this is what a lot of people don't understand. Brighton and Hove Albion, they've got a couple of clubs. Brentford, really? Manchester City, they have like 20 clubs. Palace, really? Villa, really? Forest, really? I didn't know that. Majority positions exist, so it's basically smart. The fact how we don't makes us the losers. I mean, the closest thing we had was that relationship with Vitesse Arnhem, and we found out later that Roman, that's a weird hand thing to do, Roman was giving them money on the sly-ish, allegedly. For some time, club owners have explored the idea of the multi-club ownership, where synergies can exist across a large portfolio of clubs, often with one primary asset sitting at the top of the tree, as with Manchester City with the City Football Group, and what will almost certainly be the case with Chelsea and Blueco. We are the mothership, we are HQ, they are but satellite clubs floating around us. Their existence is only to make us stronger. Maybe to make the owners money, but to make us stronger is what we care about. For some owners, it's the idea for them to operate independently and for them to be treated as individual assets where the capital is injected, used to maximize revenue potential to seek growth. Yeah, but for others, the reason is more nuanced, and that's where Chelsea come in. There is a desire to link all assets for the benefit of each club, but ultimately for the goal of bettering the prospects for the club that sits at the top of the pyramid. In the case of Blueco, it will be Chelsea, with the second investment play being the course of action will be pursued. Chelsea co-owner Bedadik Barley has already spoken to what exactly the ownership would be looking to achieve. He said this: there are 3 different reasons for doing it. 1, if done, you can make money on each specific enterprise. Yeah. 2, if you can use data, and if thoughtful about the global market for talent, that's not effectively done through a draft. Yeah, we don't have a draft, mate. Or extensive college or farm system. Yep, don't have college football here. You can capture, retain and monetize talent. So yes, it is, you find the Enzo Fernandez, the Moises Caicedo when they cost 5 and 10 million, rather than paying 180 million collectively. That's what he's saying there. There is a talent arbitrage? I don't know that word. That exists. Number 3, for Chelsea, it's perfect pathway for developing talent. You don't have to spend crazy money on payroll. There are teams in the Premier League that spend 10% of what other top 5s. Yeah, basically, we spend a lot of money on paying players. If they're playing in these leagues and in these teams, they're expected to be paid like some players. If it's like a lower top division, lesser European league, it could be like 5-10k a week. You know, imagine having to live on 5k a week. It'd be terrible, wouldn't it? Anyway, yes, so the 3 reasons, basically. There is a long article here explaining it, but it is very, very interesting. It's very important for them to make their own money. Fine, but you know, if they make money, they're happy. They're gonna be more interested and intrigued with the footballing project, I suppose is good for us ultimately in terms of the drip down. But yes, finding the talent, being integrated like a web, a hive mind in Europe with those people having your interests at heart in that club because you friggin' own them. So you find out the data, you find out how players play well. It's almost like a cultural management tactics philosophy thing as well, like how are they playing football there? Is it working? How can it be translated? Setting up camps essentially across Europe. It's like playing a game of Risk. It's like playing Risk. You're trying to do world domination. You're setting up camps everywhere. And yeah, you're finding the talent, you're finding out how to play, you're developing your talent over there by sending them on loan and hopefully generating revenue and ultimately saving money from buying your technically own talent for, you might, say we owned Benfica. It's a big club, isn't it? Also, maybe like, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, well, let's say we don't own Benfica, because it can't be worth that much. And, we'd sell Enzo for us. Enzo had a great World Cup, won the best young player. So Benfica paid, 10 million euros for him 6 months before. 6 months later, we sell him to Chelsea, let them have a massive profit, but not 105. Give them 30 million. You've tripled your money, mate. You've tripled your money. And, we've got Enzo for nothing. Well, not nothing, but you know what I mean? Like, really, really cheap. And don't worry, we're not going to leave you in the lurch because you're our club. We don't want you to get screwed over. We're going to send you Ruben Loftus-Cheek on a 6 month loan until you can find a replacement or whatever. Or on someone. Do you know what I mean? There's things one can do. It's important to recognise how this, in the current climate, for big clubs that want to develop and become as good as Man City, these are kind of things you kind of think of away from the pitch. And of course, you hope... look, man, let's not play silly buggers here. I don't think Pochettino is as good as manager as Pep Guardiola. Ultimately, football will come down to that but Guardiola won't be at City forever. Pochettino won't be at Chelsea. Then the next managers will reap the benefits of how the clubs are set up and run. And Chelsea can put themselves in a strong position to be just as good as City. Maybe even better, who knows? You gotta believe, baby. What do you think, though? Comment down below. I'm clicking the button. There it is. Yes, next video will be out later today, so keep it locked. And hopefully the interface will have arrived by then, so the sound will be fixed. Thank you, bye.